everybody, and welcome back to the Blu-ray Hunter. I'm the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and I've got a really fun episode for you guys. As you know, Huck from Pop Culture Cafe. Sorry, Huck, it's still kind of hard for me to say sometimes. He is doing a community challenge, and he's already done one, and it was the top five movie duos. And that could be anybody in the movie thing. And I already did that one. So if you want to go check that one out, please do. There's going to be a playlist of all my community challenges, and or if there isn't already one. And so there's two more that he did, and both of them are TV. One for live action and one for animation. We're going to do the live action one right now, and then you'll have the next the cartoon one be the next week. So I'm gonna try to release these on Saturday. So I was thinking like who could be my top five, and then I had three extra ones I wanted to do, and so I chose to do my top my top five plus three honorable mentions because I'm a sucker and can't do I can't do what I'm supposed to do. I had so many. There was even more than that I wanted to put up, but I chose three honorable mentions because that's fair. But I didn't want it to be my top 10 basically. Um, but here we go. So my number three one is Ted and Barney, Ted Mosby and Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. It should be popping up right there. Um, so uh, you know, basically Ted, I originally I thought Ted and Robin because, everybody likes Ted and Robin. They were the cutest. You kind of always wanted her to be one. And when you found out she wasn't the mother, it wasn't, they psyched you out in the pilot. She wasn't the mother. You kind of felt bad. Like you wanted her to be the mother, but she wasn't. And then they kind of did a little twist at the end. Whatever. Barney, man, he makes the show. He's the Joey of the show. He's the standout. He's the one every guy wants to be, even though in real life, Neil Patrick Harris is gay. He has no interest in the female persuasion, but he, it seems like he plays really well at playing, what you would think. So he's really good. I adore both of those guys, chemistry together. I like it when they try to be wingmen together and everything like that is just a lot of fun. How I Met Your Mother has been probably one of my favorite shows. I can still go back and watch it a little bit more than Friends. I know there's sort of people who like love Friends and people who love How I Met Your Mother, and I feel like the people who like Friends were there from the beginning. They like Friends, and then they saw How I Met Your Mother, like that's kind of a rip-off show. I wasn't like that. I didn't get into How I Met Your Mother till much later, and and I didn't really get into Friends when I was young, because I was a kid. I didn't really understand a lot of the jokes, until much later in life, and now I watch it all the time. So I watch How I Met Your Mother and I watch Friends and all the other kind of silly sitcoms that are out there. So next is um actually I guess there's only two because I didn't realize that one is a okay, never mind. That might be a honorable mention for the animation. Oopsie. Um so there's only two. Go figure. So there's seven instead of eight. The next one is Zach and Kelly. Now, there are so many Saved by the Bell characters that are duos. You got Jesse and Slater, you got Lisa and Screech, you got Zach and Screech. But man, did it warm my heart when I saw them get married and the college years and at the end of the college years and have the whole movie in Vegas. Now let's take account of the new Saved by the Bell that they have out, which doesn't feel anything like the original at all. And it's sort of like when Boy Meets World did Girl Meets World. It just didn't feel the same. They tried, but the humor is so different now than it was back then, and you can't really do the humor. I don't believe you can do sort of the humor of that for what the today's audience would laugh at. To be honest, and if you ever noticed in Boy Meets World, things got dumber. So that kind of makes sense with things because I think people like dumber humor, especially kids. Um, but as for Saved by the Bell, it got a little bit more, I feel like it got a lot more political and politically correct and all these other things. And it wasn't my kind of show. I watched the first season and I was like, oof, I might go back and watch some more later if I ever get Peacock again, but I just wasn't that interested in it. And um, at first I was like, I was excited. I thought, oh my God, this is going to be amazing, and it really wasn't. So there you go. But Zach and Kelly, man, they were a match, and I love them, and I love that they are in the new one as husband and wife, and they have a kid that looks just like Zach, acts like Zach, doesn't really have his mom's traits at all, really. Only his father's. I just, I don't know. I love Zach and Kelly, and always they were one of the people that even though I had a huge crush on Kelly, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I always wanted them to work out because I just adore both of them. All right. So to go to my top five, here are my actual top five. Um, okay, so this, I don't know how this counts. This maybe should have been my honorable mention, but screw it. It's my number five because it's sort of counts, sort of doesn't count. They were only on screen for 2 episodes and they were never seen together before or after. And they are two of my favorite people in the world. They are Sardo and Dr. Vink. Vink with a ver. So the reason I picked them, as my on-screen duo is because you ever seen that one episode that they were in? Oh, they were amazing. But they were always two of my favorite characters in Are You Afraid of the Dark? Sardo was very goofy and, whatever. And Dr. Vink was more serious. I mean, he'd pop up, he'd be goofy every now and then, but he was mainly sort of serious, and stuff. But, everybody knows like it's Sardo, no Mr. accent on the dough. And then they also know Dr. Vink with the ver, and I am not a nutbag. Those are their like, those are their catchphrases, and you get to see them in an episode called the Tale of Cutter's Treasure, and just them together, it's like it was like an Are You Afraid of the Dark present, you know? They got to bring both of those guys together for one story, and it was so cute. And I loved it, and I love those guys, and I had a feeling anybody that does this challenge for the TV, I don't even think they're going to think about that, because they were only in basically 2 episodes. It's like one full hour episode where I don't remember if Frank and Gary both told the episode. I think they did. I think they combined it because those are both their characters, that they use. So it was just a fun, exciting story, and I love those characters. So them together is to me an awesome duo. All right. After then is number four. And just, I'm gonna go back to Boy Meets World, and I gotta go with Corey and Topanga. Yes, once again, another couple. Yeah, I could have gone Corey and Sean. I could have gone sometimes Topanga and Sean was really cute. I could have gone Eric and Jack or anything like that, but I decided to go with Corey and Topanga because once again, another relationship that I wanted that to work. And it did. Once again, it did. They got married, they had a kid, and those 2 kids. The one kid, the girl, it's Girl Meets World, So I love that. Like I love that sort of story and I love those characters. Absolutely. So I was happy to see them come back, but once again, it just didn't feel the same. And I think that's what the problem is with these reboots is it just doesn't feel right. There's something different about the way that we do comedy that the old shows don't work out. Fuller House didn't even feel like Full House. It's just, especially since I don't even, I don't, I don't remember it like having that same effect that now maybe it's because I'm an adult now and those shows aren't going to get me as a kid. And so they were right for Girl Meets World to do that. But it was still nice to see Mr. Feeney and see all the people come back. And I could have done Eric and Feeney, but I chose Corey and Topanga because they were two lovebirds that I just wanted to see them completely and together. Whenever they were together, they made that show so much more fun, you know. So, number three was not a couple, but they were partners. And they're two of my favorite partners, and they only were partners for 10 seasons of a show. Then one of them left, and that is Benson and Stabler from Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I absolutely adore the show. I still watch it, even though these days it just doesn't feel the same. Also, maybe it's just TV is just changing. I'm just not enjoying television stuff, but I'm sort of stuck in this cycle of like, I don't want to quit it. Like I'm too far invested now. I've watched it for so many years and I can't stop watching it. I think I started watching it in like 2004 or something. Maybe later, a little later, but like I started watching it and then I was like, I started binging all the seasons and then just started catching up. I did that with a few shows. But Benson and Stabler, oh, them together, they were a duo. They had relationships that, you could tell like they really, really adored each other, but they were partners. They weren't like romantic or anything, but they wanted to be romantic. And I'm thinking that by the end of like the series run, they'll become involved because they're both doing their own different shows and sometime they're going to come together and they've kind of teased it at times. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen or not. Maybe it never will. Such is life. Sometimes that just doesn't work out. Even if you love the person that much. But anyway, it feels more real. So that's why I like it. So Benson and Stabler, and I do love seeing Benson again coming back on his no, Stabler coming back again on his own show, and Benson being the chief, the captain, whatever, captain of her crew and everything, and taking over for Kraken. I just don't I don't know. I like those. So all right. Next is gonna be an odd one for you guys, I think. You guys are gonna be a little surprised about. But number two is Sheldon and Penny. Now, I could have done like of course like Penny and Leonard, but and do the couple thing again. But I was like, let's mix it up. Let's not do couples all the time because there's all these other duos that are great. Like when they're together, they're great. And I've never wanted Sheldon and Penny to get together, like to date. I always wanted Penny and Leonard to be together, and for Penny and Sheldon to get along better. And throughout the series of Big Bang Theory, they they get back together. They get together, hang out, they get to know each other more. You as an audience get to know them more, especially Sheldon because he is sort of like an onion. Like you just kind of keep peeling the layers back, and it makes you cry. I love Sheldon. I think Sheldon is a fantastic character, and I would love to see another spinoff, another young Sheldon, but it really it's a different show than Big Bang Theory. So I would love to see a spinoff someday if they ever want to, or a reunion if they ever do that. But then again, once again, it'll be different in the year, if it comes in 10 years, it'll be different humor and it probably wouldn't work the way that it did. It worked for the as many episodes, as many seasons as they did. I think they did like 12 or more. But it lasted so well, so long because uh of the humor. The humor really worked for that time period and everything. And I think things have been changing and everything, but yeah. So anyway, that is Sheldon and Penny. I love when they knock on the door and or when he comes over and just has like a whole episode where he's just with Penny. Sheldon's with Penny. To me, that is great. They are a lot of fun. All right. Last but well, first, and I mean this. I put this number one because this is probably my favorite show, and these are two of my favorite characters, and they are a great duo. They are Dean and Castiel. Yes, Dean and Castiel. So I chose Dean and Castiel. I was originally gonna do Sam and Dean, and then I was like, I feel like that's everybody's go-to. But or it could have gone Crowley and Sam. They sort of had a duo a duo thing going. But I just chose for some reason Castiel and Dean together are just so freaking funny. Um, if you don't know, go check out the Pizza Man stuff, and just them together, their camaraderie, their talk, their chat, and all this stuff. They're just so funny. And I love it. Like I love how it's almost like he's another brother. He becomes another brother on the show. And uh the brother that Dean has to whip into shape and say stuff because he's becomes at one point like a fallen angel. And so he's just sort of human, and he becomes more and more human as the show goes on, Castiel, and Dean sort of really, really likes him, and they have a bond together that I love, and it shows throughout the whole rest of the series. When I first met Castiel, I fell in love with his character. Like I thought this guy is great. How freaking cool is it to have an angel on the show? Then there's more, and then there's the whole biblical stuff and everything. It was just great. So if you haven't seen Supernatural, please do. It is a lot of fun. I think it's on Netflix. It is a lot of fun. I still enjoy it. I still watch all these episodes. I just looked over on the other online and found out that Linda Blair was on Supernatural. Did not remember that, so I have to go back and rewatch that episode. I love that. Like I love that they bring in these horror icons. I think Robert Englund might have been in one, and all these guys are just in the episodes and stuff because they are you know this is what is it? It's a horror show. It's a lovely horror show, and they love to do that. So, and I love the show, and I love Castiel, and I love Dean, and I love Sam, and I love Crowley. I love all the characters that are just so much fun. I mean, even the villains are just so much fun. And so Supernatural's my favorite show, and it's got my favorite duo in it. So there you go. That is my TV live action duo. Bear with me. I'm gonna do another one, and I'm gonna be in the same shirt because I'm doing it like right after this. So join me next week for a brand new episode and for this community challenge. Okay. Bye.